Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadramai, Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadramai, Jaya Sudarshana. Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Radhe. Jai Radhe Jaya Radhe Jai Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Jai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jaya Gurudev Prabhupada Gurudev Prabhupada. Yom Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakarya Stotra Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Yom Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakarya Stotra Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki. Nanda Guri Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Das Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री राधा शिवासादि गौर भक्त ताई गो प्रेमानंदे. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhiraye. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtagi. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Nama Pangajanabhaya Nama Pangajamalini Nama Pangajanetraya Namaste Pangajangre. Mukam Karodi Vachalam Pangam Langayade Giring Yatkuvatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Paramananda Madhavam. Hare Krishna. So welcome back to Bhagavad Gita as it is discourses. We are on the 5th chapter, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness, and today's verses are 14 and 15. So we'll read the verse 14 first. Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu na karma bhala samyogam स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु न कर्म फल संयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु न कर्म फल संयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. Hare Krishna. Renuka Mataji, can read.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srajati prabhu na karma phala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna ji. Sigdama ji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Om
Krishna.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Na kartutvam na karmani lokasya srujati prabhu. Na karma phala sanjogam svabhavastu pravartate. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Preeti Mataji, can you read?
No, I can't do that right now. I am not that up to that. Please excuse me.
That's okay. So next class onwards can read. It's easy. Just read that. That's all. Maybe some pronunciation mistakes may be there. That's all.
Lots of mistakes.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just make a try. That's all.
I'll try next time.
Okay. Right.
I'll just watch this time and see whether I can do it or not. Then I'll do it.
You can do it easily. Everybody is like that. Everyone has been. They were on the same. We are on the same boat, and gradually we picked up.
I'll try.
It's not that we are all experts in Sanskrit. Nobody. I think most of us have not gone to Sanskrit even school. Also, I've done up to 10th standard, but that's not much. It's a little way only. So this comes out of practice only. And Srila Prabhupada, you can see there's a pronunciation guide behind the book. In the book that you're having, behind that there is a pronunciation guide.
Yes.
So that makes it easy to pronounce the words.
I have not started reading it loud like that. I just read the meanings. That's all. Hello.
Okay, we can do that also. In house can try when you're low. Okay,
Yeah,
just read the verses. It'll come smoothly.
Okay.
Right. Maybe you can read the word by word meaning as well as translation also.
Okay. Okay. You're reading the 40th verse, isn't it? Chapter?
Or 1-4, fifth chapter. Fifth chapter, Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness.
15.
14. Now we are reading 14. Na kartrutvam na karmani logasya srijati prabhu.
Karma phala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate.
So if you have been able to identify that?
I can't read that. Give me. I don't think.
Okay, right. No, you don't have to read the verse. You can read the word by word meaning is a na, never, kartrutvam, proprietorship, like that.
That can, of course. Excuse me this time.
Okay, right. Okay, fine. Renukamaji can read the translation.
The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is mentioned by the modes of material nature.
Right. Verse 15. Nadatte kasya chit papam na chaiva sukridam vibhu ajnanaina vridam jnanam tena muhyandi jandavaha. Nadatte kasya chit papam na chaiva sukridam vibhu ajnanaina vridam jnanam tena muhyandi jandavaha. Nadatte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukridam vibhu ajnanena vridam jnanam tena muhyandi jandavaha. Yes, Renukamaji.
Nadatte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukritam vibhu ajnanena vritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vanamali, you are the word you can read.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nadatte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukridam vibhu ajnanena vridam jnanam tena muhyanti jandava. Hare Krishna.
Right, Hare Krishna. Snigdhamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Na datte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukrutam vibhuh ajnanena vritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavah. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can
Hare
I read the
Krishna.
translation?
Yeah, please.
Nor does the Supreme Spirit assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Right. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmeridam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stavidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagada Mahyam Dadadi Swapadandigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamstam Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivishagan Vidamstam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Govesha Goviga Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpadruvescha Kripa Sindhuvye Vacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Na kartrutvam na karmani logasya srijati prabhu na karma bala samyogam subhavastu pravartade. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. So this is the last chapter on Karma Yoga, the 5th chapter. We have a new participant with us today. So she is first time here. So we will just explain the previous chapters briefly so that everyone can be benefited because of this recap. Bhagavad Gita, as it is, Bhagavad Gita, as you know, is a part of a famous epic. Which is epic?
Mahabharat.
Yes, Mahabharata. Bhagavad Gita is coming Mahabharata, Bhishma Parva. So the background is that the Pandavas and Kauravas are getting ready for the battle at Kurukshetra, and suddenly Arjuna feels very compassionate. He is a leader of Pandavas. Victory of Pandavas was depend on Arjuna only because he's a very ferocious fighter, a great archer, and of course he has got Krishna as his charioteer. So all those factors indicated that victory will be with Pandavas, but suddenly Arjuna, you can say, had developed the cold feet. There's a phrase in English called cold feet. Definitely, last minute you back out. This is because Arjuna felt very compassionate when he viewed this army of both the sides, and he knew that he had to kill all these people who are his relatives, uncles, grandfathers, friends, brothers, brother-in-laws, sons, grandsons. So many people are there, all are his relatives on both sides. So this great war commences, most of them will be killed. There's no doubt about that. So he wanted to back out. He didn't want to do any war. He wanted to come out of this war and go to forest for begging, because he's a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means without he should have a Rajya, a country to govern. It's a duty of a Kshatriya to administrate a country. But since Arjuna did not want to discharge his duties as a Kshatriya, he wanted to retire. He wanted to take sannyas. But then Krishna started explaining him the difference between, started with Sankhya Yoga. What is the difference between spirit and soul? Sorry, spirit and body. That is coming the second chapter, verses from 12 to 30. He explains very nicely that the soul is eternal. We are eternal. We are souls only. We are eternal. Bodies are temporary. And although seemingly the bodies of these warriors like Bhishma, Drona, Duryodhana, Karna, everybody may be killed. Their bodies may perish, but doesn't mean that they'll be killed. The souls are intact, and because they are dying in the battlefield, they'll be ensured a place in the higher worlds. That's for sure. Or they may even be promoted to spiritual world also, depending upon their karma. So having explained the difference between the spirit and the body, which is technically called Sankhya Yoga, now the goal is how to realize this soul. The soul has been explained as eternal, ever blissful, Satchitananda, full of knowledge, full of bliss, full of eternity. Soul never dies, is never born. So many qualities of soul is explained in these verses. And now we have to realize this. Now, theoretically, we understand that we are souls. That is called jnana. But practically, we have to realize this soul, which is called vijnana. That is all about Bhagavad. First, you have to understand theory, that we are soul. And then we have to understand how to realize this. And this is explained through so many yogas, starting with Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. 4 major yogas. Yoga means unite. Yoga means unite. Uniting what with what?
With Lord Krishna.
Yes, the uniting the soul with the Krishna, the supreme soul, is called Paramatma, is a Bhagavan. And Krishna is the supreme truth. Krishna is the absolute truth. And understanding Krishna will destroy all our sufferings. And this is through yoga only. So basically there are Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Now Krishna explains that Jnana Yoga means you refrain from activities. Activities means, what is activity? What is actually basically what is activity? Technically, as per Bhagavad Gita, what is activity? This is explained in the 5th chapter. Indriyani Indriyarteshu Dharayan, isn't it? Indriya means senses. When the senses interact with the sense objects, that is action. Like, for example, we are seeing an object, a form. The form is the object of a sense, and seeing is a action, the senses, with the eyes. With ears, the sense, we listen, the sound. Like nose, we smell, the tongue, we taste, the skin, we touch. So these are the senses, and activity means senses coming into contact with the sense objects. So that is action. Now action is required at least for making a living. Bhagavad Gita, the 3rd chapter starts with Karma Yoga, starts with Niyadam Guru Karmatvam Karma Jayo Hi Agarmana Sharir Yatva Viche Napasidade Agarmana. Because if you want to make a living, at least you have to do some work. Without doing any work, nobody can exist, or they cannot maintain their bodies. Working is essential. But how to work? What kind of work we have to do? That is given Vedas, we call niyada karma, prescribed duties. Prescribed duties, what is prescribed duties? What are prescribed duties? Prescribed duties pertaining to your varna, isn't it? Am I right, Srindamaji? So which are the varnas?
Yes, 4 varnas are there: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra.
Yes. So these are the varnas, and every of these one, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, has got prescribed duties as per the varnashram system, which is promulgated by Krishna only, which we have seen in the 4th chapter, Chadurvarne Maya system, Guna Karma Bhagasha, Kasya Kartaram Abhicham, Agartaram Abhyayam. So this varnashram system was enacted or promulgated by Krishna only, in which there is a division of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra according to their guna and karma, according to their quality. So Bhagavad Gita is very clear. Bhagavad Gita is very clear. The varnashram system is based on one's quality only and not by your birth. Of course, by birth also a Brahmana is there, and by quality also he may be a Brahmana. You get a birth of a Brahmana or Kshatriya according to your previous karma. Now in this life, in this birth, if you are acting like a Brahmana, then you are sure a Brahmana only. But having obtained a birth in a Brahmana family, you are not showing any quality of Brahmana, then that person is not called Brahmana, is called Brahmaja. Brahmaja means he was born in a Brahmana family, but he is not showing any quality. So ultimately, this quality that counts. So all these varnashrama, they got qualities there. Based on that, there is a karma. Brahmana means teaching, doing yajnas, and accepting charity. Teaching and being studying and teaching, doing yajna and teaching yajna, accepting charity and giving charity. These are the 6 functions of Brahmana. And basically, Kshatriyas are administrators, rulers. Vaishyas, as you know, which are the functions of Vaishya?
Agriculture and animal.
Yes, cow protection.
Yes, cow.
And trading,
Yes,
banking, etc. These are called commercial activities, or agriculture and commercial activities, and cow protection. These are the activities of Vaishya. And Shudras means they are supporting, they are doing the manual labor for these 3 classes. So this prescribed duties, that means Krishna says you have to do your prescribed duty. Now Arjuna is a Kshatriya, he has to do his prescribed duties. He cannot back off. So when you are doing the prescribed duties, that is called dharma. When action is done as per the Vedic injunctions, as per varnashram system, prescribed duties you are doing, that is called dharma. And when this dharma is done as an offering to Krishna, that becomes yajna. So action, dharma, or we can say karma, dharma, and yajna. This is basically the 3 components of karma yoga. So when you execute the karma without any desire, which is called, what is that called?
Karma yogi, niskama karma or karma
yes, nishkama
yogi?
karma. Yes.
Is
Nishkama. Basically, karma yoga means nishkama karma. But to make it clear, we are saying that nishkama karma yogi because he has no interest for results. He doesn't have this enjoying spirit, which is called prabhutvam, bodhrutvam, enjoying spirit, as he wants to enjoy the results of the work. Nor does he think that he is a proprietor, that he has done that, the doer, the enjoyer. These are the 2 aspects of people who are interested in fruitive activities. So a karma yogi or nishkama karma yogi, he doesn't think that he is a doer. He doesn't have this false ego, the ahankara, that he is a doer. No, he has got any attachment to works or the results of his work. So he has this karma yoga, and doing the karma yoga very systematically, as an offering with a surrender mentality to Krishna, helps you to destroy all the past sins, sinful reactions, and then you become very pure. So this is basically Karma Yoga. And then Arjuna has some doubts whether Krishna is really actually supporting Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga. So he wants to make it very clear that I want to know Krishna, which I should do. Then in the 4th chapter, of course, Krishna explains the origin of Bhagavad Gita, to whom it was previously taught, initially taught.
Sun God.
Yeah. Vivaswan, Sun God. Yes, Sun God, Vivaswan. And then Sun God passed it on to his son,
Ikshvaku.
Manu.
Manu and Ikshvaku.
And from Manu to Ikshaku, and like that, the Parampara system is there. And Parampara system, Krishna explains Parampara system. He explained he started the initiative. Then he explains his birth. Arjuna has some doubts why Vivaswan was born about roundly as per the calculations which I have read about 12 plus years ago. How come you are same age, or how can I believe that you taught this? Because we are the same age. Arjuna and Krishna are compatriots, and they are the same age. So how can I can know, I can understand, or I can be convinced that you taught Vivaswan? Then Krishna explains that many births we have done, both of us. You don't remember anything. I remember everything. Then why so? Then Krishna explains the nature of his body, the reason why he's coming, and what are the benefits. So this is the 4th chapter starting. And then Karma Yoga is explained more details. What is Nishkama, Karma, Akarma, and Vikarma. These are the 3 divisions of karma. Vikarma, Karma, and Akarma. So what is Vikarma?
Doing the activities which is not in the Vedas.
Yes, not in the Vedas, which is not supported by Vedas. Actually, it is in the Vedas. You can see the Vikarma actually means those activities which are not in tune with Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
Now, Krishna consciousness means realizing yourself in Krishna. So any activities which is not meant for this goal is called Vikarma. That means
Yes.
Vikarma, basically we can understand that this is sense enjoyment only.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now, sense enjoyment, there are 2 types. Sense enjoyment as per given in Vedas and the Karma Kanda section. Because as we have understand, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nishtraigunya Bhava Arjuna, Krishna explains that in Vedas deal with so many people. Vedas, the people are there in Karma, Sattva-guna, Rajo-guna, and Tamo-guna. Now, to gradually bring them to the Shuddha Sattva level, immediately you cannot put this spiritual knowledge to them. They have their desires, their enjoyment mentality is there, and to control or regulate their instinct for enjoyment, Vedas has prescribed the system of yajna, karma kanda section. Karma kanda section means you can execute some yajnas by which you can have a very nice life here. Lots of cows, elephants, good children, good wife, and gold, all those opulence. Can be wealthy life. Here can be very wealthy and very famous in this life. And more than that, you can be promoted to higher planets, Swargas and all the heavenly planets. For that also there are yajnas which will help promote a person, a jiva, to be promoted to higher planets. So these are in the Vedas. But basically, this is not a spiritual life, because they are sense gratification only. But Vedas allow such activities, because gradually only you can be gradually elevated to Sattva and then to Shuddha Sattva. Now, Vedas prescribe this kind of activities. Then there are people who have got no regard for Vedas, and they are just enjoying life like modern times. Modern times, nobody is interested in Bhagavad Gita, nobody interested in Bhagavad, nobody interested in Ganesh and all that. They just like to live a good life, according to them. Good life means enjoying. And you know how enjoying with your senses, going for cinemas, going for many things, and doing some having habits of merrymaking, all those things. So this is Vikarma. So Vikarma is those activities which are not in tune with spiritual attainment. This is called Vikarma. It can be in accordance with Veda also, and not against, and not in accordance with Vedas also. That's Vikarma. Then karma is
doing the activities according to Vedas.
yeah, according to the prescribed day. This karma yoga with prescribed duties, doing the prescribed duties with surrender mentality to Krishna is karma yoga. Then jnana yoga or agarma. What is agarma?
Akarma is without accepting the fruitive activities, Prabhuji.
I mean, agarma basically means abstaining from activities, not doing any activities. Now here is where Arjuna gets confused. Arjuna does not want to do any war. He is just not going to wage battle. He wants to take sannyas. Sannyas means renouncing work. Renouncing work. Karma yoga means not renouncing doing work, but renouncing the result of work.
Yes.
One is karma sannyasa, but is karma yoga. Karma yoga. Karma yoga means you're renouncing the results of the work. Not you are not renouncing work itself. You are just renouncing the result of work. Sannyasa means actually karma sannyasa means you are renouncing the work, which is jnana yoga. And there are a group of people called jnanis who refrain from doing any work. But then that we have different. There is no difference between karma yoga and jnana yoga because the result is the same. Basically, karma yoga and jnana yoga, your Brahman realization, you are realizing the soul. Now, the practical thing is that karma yoga, you doing activities and then purifying yourself, and naturally you get realized. This is a very safe and a very secure path. But jnana yoga means when it has a precondition that already you should have a very clean heart, pure heart. If you are not having a pure heart and then you are prematurely doing sannyas, it will lead to problem. Because you have inner desires, is say. The sloga is 3.6 is says, you know. What is it? 3.6. Krishna explains that you are mechanically renouncing so many work, but internally you are doing all those desires, enjoying desires. Karma indriyani samyamya ye aste manasasmaran. Indriyani vimudhatma mithyachara suchyate. You are controlling senses artificially, but the mind dwells on these sense objects. My mind is very lusty. It is dwelling on lusty things. Externally, you are wearing saffron and speaking Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, but internally, you are enjoying. You want to enjoy. That means your heart is not clear. Your heart is not pure. But you pretend to be a yogi, you pretend to be a jnani. He is called a mithyachara. Mithyachara means pretender. Sridhi Mataji explain. Can it be helpful if you carry a diary or notebook and a pen also? You can note down something. Of course, otherwise you can also listen to the class also. This is being recorded, and at your convenience you can hear it again. Okay, right. So jnana yoga means abstaining or refraining from work, and that is suitable only for people who are already having a pure heart, which is very rare. But basically, this is thing vikarma, karma, akarma. This Krishna explains very nicely in the 4th chapter. Then he speaks about all the yajnas, different yajnas are there. Verses from 25 to 33. Yajnas conducted by brahmacharis, grihasthas, people are worshippers of demigods, worshippers of Brahman, worshippers of yogas, I mean prana yoga, sankhya yoga, ashtanga yoga, hatha yoga, all those everyone is doing some yajnas. Basically, yajna means the prime goal of yajna. What is the prime goal of yajna?
To please Vishnu.
Yeah, please Vishnu. Basically, your idea is to elevate yourself spiritually. So any yajna which is not elevating you spiritually is a waste of time. So dravya yajna, so that's what Krishna says, Shayan dravyamaya yajna, jnana yajna parandava. What is dravyamaya yajna or dravya yajna?
offering material things
Yes,
to.
so yes, sacrificing your material things. You're sacrificing. That means you're doing some philanthropic activities, helping others, setting up some hospitals, what do you call old age homes, etc., etc., which helps others nicely. Their bodies helps others, philanthropic activities. But better than these activities are the spiritual activities which promote you to spiritual world. So having explained that, then Arjuna then asks this question, actually, which is the better yoga? Whether it's Jnana Yoga is better or Karma Yoga is better, which yoga I should follow? And Krishna very clearly says that both of them are good, but better than Karma Yoga, better than Karma Sannyasa, Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga is better, because the chances of fall down in Jnana Yoga is more than Karma Yoga. As explained, because if you are not having a pure heart, it's very difficult to do this Jnana Yoga. So then the benefits of Karma Yoga is explained, the verses from 7 to 12 in this chapter, in the 5th chapter, 7 to 12, how the Karma Yogi actually practices Krishna consciousness is explained 5 to 12. And 13 onwards, 13 to 16, the verses which we are now discussing, Krishna explains the 3 kinds of doers. 3 types of doers. One is Prakriti, one is self, the soul, another is Supreme Self. We have seen the verses 8 to 9, 10 and 11, that activities means the 13 components are there. Which are the 13 components of action? Pashyan, Shunman, Sprishan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Saban, Shosan, Visarjan, Parlaban, Visarjan, Grihanan, Unmishan, Nimishan. 13 activities. Why Singlamaji, you are not remembering?
Prabhuji, 5 senses and 5 sense objects are there.
Yes.
Then prana is...
Five Jnana Yoga, there is a Jnanendriya and 5 Karmendriya.
Karmendriya is there, then prana is there, 1 prana. 2
pranas, prana and subsidiary and secondary and primary. 2 pranas, 12 plus 1 pertaining to your internal organs, Andakarna. Swapna is related to your Andakarna. Jnanendriya means seeing, Pashyan, Shunman, hearing, Jigran, smelling, Ashnan, eating, tasting. So these are 5. And then you have Gachan. Gachan means walking. Shosan means breathing. In breathing, 2 pranas are there. 2 types of pranas are there. Totally 10. And then Sopan means internal function of this mind and false ego. And then Visarjan means evacuation. There is Karma Yoga. So Karma Indriya. Like Gachan is walking is Karma Indriya. Visarjan, evacuation is Karma Indriya. And then talking is Karma Indriya. And then holding, that is Karma Indriya. So these are the 5 Karmendriya and 5 Jnanendriya, 2 pranas and 1 Andakarna. These are the 13 components of action, which the Karma Yogi knows it is based on senses and sense objects. Action.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, 2 pranas are prana and apana.
Yeah, no, prana, the 2 groups actually. Prana, apana, samana, vyana, dana. There's 5. Then there's the primary ones, and then the secondary ones. Secondary ones are also 5. Krikacha, Kurma, Naga, Dhananjaya, and there's one more is there, which is the conchal of Dhananjaya. Devadatta.
Yes, Devadatta,
Dhananjaya. So these are the 5 secondary pranas, the 5 primary pranas and 5 secondary pranas comprising of 10, totally 10, which are grouped into 2. So you can say Shwasan, breathing. Breathing is basically what? Primary sense, primary air only, primary prana only. Like yes, prana, ayya, prana, apana. These are all primary ones. So breathing is based on that. Then unmission, nimission, opening your eyes and closing your eyes. Opening eyes and closing eyes, opening your mouth, etc. is a function of secondary airs. So any action actually is done with the help of airs only. The air is a strength imparting element. You are thinking that we are closing the eyelids and opening the eyelids, but how this opening and closing is done by air is through the air only. So these are very subtle signs. You are taking for granted that I am closing my eyes, I am opening my eyes, I am using my eyelids. But actually, how you close and how you open, this is with the strength of air only. Because air means movement. Movement is facilitated by air only. So these are very subtle airs which is inside your eyes and all places. So this is facilitating opening and closing of eyes. This is called unmission, nimission. So basically, these are all functions of senses, means basically body functions only. So the karma yogi is, I am not attached to this karma, these functions, body functions. Although I am doing these body functions, I am not attached. So Krishna gives an example of that. You are doing it. Although, okay, can we deny that we are not sleeping, we are talking, we are walking, we are seeing, we are smelling, we are hearing, we are tasting, we are evacuating, everything we are doing, all bodily functions we are executing, but in a detached manner, because we know that these bodily functions are not related to your spirit, your soul, yourself. So which is an example or the simile which Krishna gives?
Nabadware Puredehi.
No, Padma Patra, lotus leaf. Lotus leaf. Next, verse 10 he says, no? Brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tektva dhananjaya.
Lipyadena
sabhabena padmapatra ivambasa. In the water, the lotus leaf is always in water, in the lake only. But it is not soaked with water. You can see the water particles or the water droplets distinctly in the lotus leaf. That is a unique feature of the lotus leaf. Throughout its life, it is in water only.
Prabhuji, in 5.10 also Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam taktva karoti jo lipyatena sapapena padmapatra mimambasa.
Yes, that we are reciting that verse only. 8 and 9 talks about these 13 functions, and 10th verse says that it said in 9th verse itself, Indriyani Indriyarteshu dharem iti vartanda. The karma yogi, the Krishna conscious person, he knows that all actions are just a combination of senses and sense objects, and I am not part of that. And to explain that strong, Krishna brings about this simile of the lotus leaf. So in the 11th verse, Krishna explains that karma yogi works with his body, mind, and a purified intelligence only for purpose of purification. Kayana manasa buddhya kevale indriye ravi yoginaha karma kurvandi sangam tektva atma shuddhaye. So the real purpose of action is for purifying yourself. Any action you take is ultimately for the purpose of purification. You are eating, yes, you are eating, you are drinking something. Why? To maintain the body. Why you are maintaining the body? To render service to Krishna. So if you are devoid of the sense of self-purification, and then the Bhagavad Gita teaches you this is how you have to do action. So kayena manasa buddhya kevela indriyevi, body, mind, intelligence, senses, everything you are using for karma, executing karma, only for the purpose of purifying yourself. And after purifying, then what happens? Sarva karmani manasa sanya sase sukham vashi. when he is understand that I am not part of this body, I am not that body, I am soul only, and part of Krishna only. Soul means what? Is a portion of Krishna only. Ame Vamsho Jiva Loga Jiva Bhuta Sanadana. The spirit soul is a fraction of Krishna, a part of Krishna only. So that is called real realization, Brahman realization, Am Brahmasmi, Am Krishna Dasosmi. He understands that. Understanding this perfectly, he is discharging all activities, but is not bound by action. So he stays very happily in the Navadware Pure Dehi Na Kurvan Nakarayan. Navadware. In the he is residing very happily in this body, which is comprising of 9 doors. The body is compared to the city of 9 doors. City of 9 doors. Which are the 9 doors?
Two eyes, 2 ears,
Yes,
2 nostrils,
yes,
mouth,
yes,
and 2 genital.
yes, evacuating organs. Yes, rectum and this one. So these are the 9 doors, and body is called the city of 9 doors, and the soul is very happily residing. Is very happily sukham. So you can say soul is a enjoy. But now in the next verse, 14th verse, he says, "Na kartutva na karmani logasya srijari prabhu na karma bhala samyogam swabhavasya." What is action? When you are in the conditioned state, when you are in the born state, we should understand that only our nature is working. Actually, we are not working. The Prabhu here, Prabhu means soul. The soul knows that he is not creating any activities. He is not doing any activities. Only the nature based on your gunas. Gunas are inspiring us to work. For a conditioned soul, a bound soul, when you are in illusion, in conditioned Maya, then you are having no knowledge. And when you are gathering knowledge, you understand that actually these bodily oriented activities, maintaining the body and enjoying with the body, maintaining body is required for everyone. But then enjoying the body with senses, only a person who is a karmi, we call it karmi, bhogi, who is interested in conjunction, he does that. But he is ignorant. That's why he is indulging in sense gratification. But the karma yogi knows that the body activities are maintained or done by the gunas only. For eating, for example, for eating, when you're eating a sattva guna, person who is in sattva guna, he eats sattvic food only, like milk, grains, pulses, fatty substance, I mean very sweet and thick substance. That is a person in sattva guna. This is explained in 17th chapter in detail. A person in rajoguna, he eats very hot things, bitter things, which is not good for health. And a person in tamaguna, that's a mode of ignorance, is even worse. He eats all the putrid, decayed substance like meat and all those things, which is not at all good. It creates ignorance only. These are the food of the person in tamoguna. So whether you are eating or any activities you are doing is based on gunas only. That karma yogi understands. So understanding that, he knows that I am not doing this. But a person who is ignorant, he doesn't understand that all those activities are based on gunas only, and we are under the spell of gunas only. So a person, ignorant person, he extends his engagement. He continuously, birth after birth, is bound by this. But Bhagavad Gita teaches you exactly what is Prakriti, what is Jiva, who is Krishna, what is time, what is karma. These 5 basic things I explained in Bhagavad Gita nicely. And a Krishna conscious person who is discharging his karma nicely, he knows that the only way you can get out of this bondage is to cultivate Krishna consciousness and develop on Krishna consciousness. So, and Arjuna understands, okay, so that means the soul is not doing any work. Soul is done by, work is done by Swabhava, nature only. But then who inspires this nature? That is a question Arjuna asks. So Krishna says, now that they kasijit pavam na chaiva sugrutam vibho. Here Krishna is at the, God is denoted by word vibhu. In the 14th chapter, in the 14th verse, the soul is denoted by Prabhu. Na kartutam na karmani logasya srijade Prabhu. Prabhu means soul. In the 15th verse, na datte kasijit pavam na chaiva sugrutam vibhu. Vibhu means God, Krishna. Now Arjuna's doubt is very, very valid. Krishna explains that only all those bodily activities, sense gratification activities, are basically on account of your nature only, which is comprising of 3 gunas, and not the soul. Then Arjuna thinks that who is inspiring these gunas? Why we are under the spell of Krishna? Is it Krishna only? Under this karma only, or under this guna only, we are accepting all these karmas. So in some of the Upanishads, you can find that it is in the purport, if you read, Srila Prabhupada is quoting this in Kaustika Upanishad. It is mentioned that the God inspires some people to do good work and promote them to higher planets. The same God inspires some people to do bad work, abominable work, and he is thrown to the lower planets. So in some Upanishads, you can find this kind of verses, which indicates that Lord is actually inspiring good work and bad work. That means Lord is charged with the fault of being partial. But in this verse, Krishna refutes this charge. He says, na datte kasyajit pavam na chaiva sukrutam vibho. I am not responsible for any person's sinful activities. I am not responsible for any person's pious activities. Krishna is neutral. Just like a judge in a court. In some cases are there, a culprit is punished, he is awarded let's say 10 years imprisonment. This is a punishment is given by crime and punishment. Crime is done and punishment is given. Let's say 10 years imprisonment is given. In some cases, sometimes one person may be awarded with a lot of money for defamatory suit or something like that. He may be awarded some $5 million or some 5 million rupees or crores of rupees. The same judge is rewarding one person and punishing one person. Now, is a judge at fault?
No,
Can the judge be held responsible for that?
no, Prabhuji.
Because he is giving judgment, he is punishing one person and is rewarding some person because of the work done by these type of people, and the work is done on the basis of desire only. Desire is a very subtle substance. This is a subtle element. Any action, desire is most important. Now the conditions are on the influence of these gunas. He has some desires to enjoy legally or illegally, sinfully or not, and when he is doing that, he is given the facilities to act also. Now, as you know, the power to execute, the strength to execute action comes from super soul, transmitted to soul, transmitted to the prana areas and to the senses, and the action is completed. So even if I have a desire to do something, unless Krishna empowers me, I cannot do it. Even if I want to move my little finger, Krishna has to sanction that. But then it is my desire what to do with my hands. There are so many work I can do with my hands. According to my gunas, I have done some desires, and according to my desires, I want to work. And Krishna, okay, sanctions, okay, you do that work, but then you are responsible for your action. Krishna is not. When you do the work, the result is given by Krishna. So when you do the abominable work, you are demoted to lower planets. And when you do nice work, you are promoted to higher planets. Krishna is like an impartial judge. So in the purport, there is example of given of a flower. Now the flower is affecting the mind of a person who is near to a flower. Now, does a flower has any intention to affect the mind of a person? Flower is there. Flower gives perfumes. He gives what you call fragrance, good fragrance, maybe bad or foul smell, whatever it is.
There is no intention.
It is not the intention or it is not the activity of a flower to influence the mind of a person who is smelling. No, it is because of proximity only. Because the person is near the flower, he is getting the fragrance. Same way, the super soul is inside the soul, inside our body. Along with the soul, we know that the super soul is also residing. The super soul is only witness to our actions. Is a sanctioner also, a permitter also. He permits the actions, is a witness to action. And according to our desires, we are doing action, and Krishna is permitting. Another example given in Vishnu Purana is that the sky, ether, and the time are the factors responsible for the growth of the trees. The tree is starting with a small germinate, is a small plant, then gradually it goes to a very, very big tree. The cause is ether and then time. These are the two factors. But neither either nor the time is transforming into trees. Ether is only, and sky and the time is only influencing the growth of trees only. It is not being transformed. It is actually as it is only. Time is there and sky is there. Because of the influence of these two factors, the small plant is growing into a big tree. Same way, Krishna, without transformation, he is not transforming himself. He is maintaining the universe without being attached to it nor being transformed to it. So Krishna is impartial in all his activities. So that's why Krishna says, Nadate kasij chavam na chaiva sukritam vibho. I am not responsible for anyone's sinful activities, nor am I responsible for anyone's past activities. Then why you think so? Why you think that Krishna is responsible? That is given in the second line. Ajnena avrta jnanam tena muhyanti jandava. Because of ignorance only you are doing that. Because of ignorance, because you are not knowing how things are taking place, you blame Krishna. In so many cases, you find so many people, they say, oh, Krishna is Bhagavan enne kondi cheyike. Krishna only make me do this. I am only a tool in his hand. Because he makes me do it, only I did that. This is due to ignorance only. In Vedanta Sutra, it's saying, it is also mentioned that is given last words. It is there. It is there that Vaishyamya Grinde na sabekshatvat. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Brahman, is not partial, although he appears to be partial. People are saying so many people are getting elevated, become very wealthy, famous, having a nice body, everything there. Some people are suffering, other people are enjoying. Is not God responsible for that? So this question is an account of ignorance only. Krishna is not partial, and Krishna is not a doer in these activities. Only doer is Prakriti and soul himself. And the Prakriti, when the soul is conditioned, he acts according to Prakriti. And when the soul is on knowledge, he acts according to the scriptures knowledge. That is, we are part of Krishna only. And that activity is called Krishna activities, Krishna conscious activities. Activities based on knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is called Krishna conscious activities, which are liberating you. And activities based on your gunas, ignorant of these scriptures, is activities is binding you. So you can choose which type of activities you want to execute. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So any
Hare
clarification? Yes, Maharaja, tell me.
No,
Anything you want to ask?
I enjoyed the session, though it was the first time, but many things were above my head, actually.
I understand. Yes.
I have not got into that flow
What we can do is, we have the class, all the recordings of the classes. I can send you the recordings. You can listen, and we can listen to it in your convenience. Right for the first chapter, we can send you.
little by
So that-
little, because I
Little
won't
by
be able
little.
to see it.
No, we'll just send you. You read according to your convenience.
That will be very
You
nice.
choose.
That will be
Yeah, you
very
can
nice.
that. Then you
It
read the
was
book
very
also.
interesting, and it is nice. I like the session very much. I hope I can continue.
Definitely, you can. Basically, as a desire is everything. You should have the desire. Desire should be nice desire. Nice desire is to be Krishna consciousness. Be a
That's
devotee of Krishna. That is the best desire.
Absolutely.
And for that, that book will help you. The Krishna's Prabhupada book. Prabhupada is a great acharya. He's the greatest acharya, you can say. And when you read that book, you start with the introduction. Introduction, almost 30 pages are there. You read the introductions at least 2 or 3 times. Don't immediately go to verses. In the introduction itself, there are 30 pages, which gives you a gist of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
So you read that Bhagavad Gita introduction 2 times, at least 3 times. Then you will have very nice knowledge. Then whenever you get some doubt, you take a diary and pen and note down all those doubts which are coming. And then you can clarify with me. If I'm able to clarify that, I'll be happy to do that.
Definitely, I'll do it. Today was the first session.
Because you need something to be systematic about this.
Yeah.
But to spend some time.
Get into it. I have to get into it.
Yes. Because you take a lot of effort for the material things, Everybody takes so much effort to execute the material things, attaining something. But spiritual life is much, much, much more important than material life. It's ultimately, we are spirit only, and we have to go back to our spiritual kingdom. This is actually the fact. And for that, you have to work. And working means reading Bhagavad Gita and chanting and all that, which come gradually. So this is a nice life.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right, Hare Krishna. Okay. Signamaji, you can rent the copy.
Prabhuji, I have a small doubt, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Actually, in Gita, while we are reading the verses, there are some dots and the lines above the letters. On the alphabet, suppose Chetaha mantra CETAH, one line is there. So, what it indicates? The dots and the lines in the verses?
Now, what you do is, there's a pronunciation guide. Behind this Bhagavad Gita. Now, for example, there are like for S is sa, no? When there is a S is given, it is pronounced as sa. Now, if there is a slash above S, it is called sha. Now, if there is a dot behind that, under that letter, it's called sha. So, sa, sha.
Yes.
For cha, so then cha is a CH cha. CH. So that way it is pronounced.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Slash means pronounced sha only. Under means, but like for example D, for D, it is given D only. It is pronounced as da.
Yes.
When the dot under the D is called da.
Yes, Prabhuji. And
so pronunciation. Yeah, so and ta or T also. T means it is called ta. When is there's a dot is called ta. And when it is pronounced as ta, there is TH.
Yes.
It will come easily. Yeah.
We can download the book, pronunciation book, and we can
go. No, the pronunciation book is in Bhagavad Gita itself. Behind that, you'll find. Behind the book, there's a pronunciation guide.
Yes. Then definitely I will go through it. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes. Narsingha Kirtan. Namaste Narasinghaya. Namaste Narasinghaya. Prahlad Daini. हिरण्यकाशिपुर्वक्ष्यः शिलटङ्कानखालाय इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो बहिर्नरसिंहाहृदयेर्नरसिंह नरसिंहमदि शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलभरे नगामद्भुतशृङ्गम् दालिता हिरण्यकशिपुतनुभृङ्गम् केशवधृत नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरहरि 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 जय नरहरि जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल ओम उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्यु नमाम्यहम् ओम उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्यु नमाम्यहम् ओम उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्यु नमाम्यहम् नृसिंह जय जय श्री नृसिंह प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मामुख पद्माभृंग नृसिंह जय जय श्री नृसिंह प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मामुख पद्माभृंग नृसिंह जय श्री नृसिंह प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मामुख पद्माभृंग सर्वविघ्न नृसिंह भगवान की जय
Jai. Go Premanande. Vancha kalpadrubhishta.
कृपा सिंधु भयवच पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Nandakodi Vaishnavanda ki.
जय
Bhagavan ki. So
जय
thank you very much. So we'll see Thursday, next Thursday, day after tomorrow, same